So our first speaker for this inaugural SAP event is Mrs. Kelly Sandmeyer, Senior Manager for Upstream Marketing. For those of you from the medical division, odds are you're probably pretty familiar with Kelly, her work, or her team. Thank you, Naller. Shout out, Trey. Kelly's been with Stryker for 12 and a half years. She's held 7 different roles across 4 different divisions. Throughout those years, she has been instrumental with the launch, commercialization, and really just production of a lot of key products within Emergency Care's transport portfolio. Kelly is an incredible mentor. She's an incredible leader. She's an incredible friend. We feel so fortunate that she's been able to and was willing to come up here and do this talk for us. So with that, I'm going to pass the hypothetical mic off to Kelly.
All right, so thank you very much, Nick. I'll pay you for all the nice things that you said later after this. So as Nick said, my name is Kelly Sandmeyer, and I'm a Senior Manager at Emergency Care. To start, we actually put out some sticky notes in front of all of you. If you wouldn't mind, if you could please grab a sticky note, that would be great. On your sticky note, I want you to write down 3 words that you want people to think of when they hear your name. I'm going to ask you to set those aside, and we're going to pull them back out. Next, I'm going to show you a series of images, and I want you to yell out words that come to mind when you see the image or brand. So please, top of mind, just yell it out. Shipping. Shipping. Fast. Reliable. Customer service. Perfect. Yeah, Amazon is known for its commitment to operational excellence and customer service. Innovative. Maybe a little controversial these days. Innovation, premium, tech. Tesla's known for creating a premium brand and for creating really top-of-the-line innovative products and services. Unreliable, horrific, horrible customer service. Spirit actually has one of the worst brand ratings of all time amongst any company. What about this, Jeff? Rich? Yep. Powerful. Yeah, rich, powerful, successful, investor. He's very philanthropic. With a net worth of over $100 billion, Warren Buffett is probably one of the most well-known investors of all time. His personal brand is very clear and well-respected around the world. His father was a stockbroker, and he grew up with a really strong desire to understand business and investing. He filed his own personal tax return as a freshman in high school, deducting his bicycle for his newspaper route. His experience in handling money at a young age taught him to be frugal and practical. And you can see his own personality come out when he presents and when he speaks, being known for mixing business and humor. Opposite end of the spectrum. Fake. Very good call. Yes, on the complete opposite end of the spectrum, Kim Kardashian. And many of you are like, okay, we're in this lead series, why is Kim Kardashian up here? But she has been very successful, and she has created quite a brand for herself. She grew up in the spotlight, and she really took full advantage of that. She embraced it. In 2015, Kim Kardashian became the highest paid celebrity in TV. She has an arrogance about her, and she uses that arrogance to her advantage, which is why she can successfully sell $700 makeup kits online. Inventor. Passionate.
Whatever.
A simple black turtleneck coupled with jeans and sneakers was just one of the very many personal brand attributes of Steve Jobs. His personality is known for breathing life into his products. Simple, practical, straightforward. He was known to be very difficult to work with, and he really did embrace a what you see is what you get personality. Yet he made Apple what it is today. Just like companies, people have brands. These people are all significantly different, but can anyone tell me what they have in common?
Successful.
Passionate.
Famous.
Successful, passionate. Yep. Right. Yeah. They each accomplished their dreams of being successful and profitable. However, their execution and their paths to get there were all vastly different. They're all wildly successful, but all with very different personalities. What they have in common is their authenticity and their intentionality. They all embrace their own unique personalities and experiences to become successful. They've all been very intentional about owning who they are and leveraging their inherent strengths. If Kim Kardashian wore a black turtleneck, little frameless glasses, and tried to speak about anything technical, I can guarantee you she would not be as successful as she is today for more than just the obvious reasons of how fake she is. There are traits that come very naturally to individuals. We're all born with these. Warren Buffett gravitated toward numbers and math. He was naturally drawn to this. Kim naturally loved being the center of attention. You can see her at a very young age dancing in home videos. They each accepted and embraced what came naturally to them, and then coupled their own experiences to build the well-known brands that they have today. Steve Jobs was unapologetically authentic, and he credited much of his success to this. He was quoted saying, your time is limited, so don't waste it living someone else's life. Don't let the noise of others' opinions draw out your own inner voice. And most important, have the courage to follow your heart and intuition. And frankly, trying to be someone else in life is exhausting. I want you to pull out those 3 words that you wrote down at the beginning. I want you to think, what have you done today, this week, this month, to get people to believe that you are defined by those 3 words? Every investment, every tweet, every speech given by the individuals that I just shown have been very intentional throughout their careers. Brands aren't built overnight. You have to intentionally build them over time. Each morning you wake up, you get to choose who you are and how you show up. Be intentional about how you do that. Is anyone familiar with this graphic? Yeah? Few of you? All right. How often do we actually stop and think about our purpose? All the chaos that's going on, the world that we live in. Our purpose lies at the intersection of what we love, what we're good at, what the world needs, and what we can be paid for. How many people in life have heard someone say, if I could go back and do it all again, I would fill in the blank? As young professionals, you have the opportunity to shape your future and to be anything you want. If you are authentic and intentional and know what you want in life and in your career, finding your purpose will be much easier. In your career, purpose will give you the passion to wake up every day doing what you love. And with purpose, your brand will come much more naturally. So, we're gonna rewind here a little bit. In 2010, thought I had it all figured out. I graduated college in 3 years, at the top of my class. I had secured a marketing associate role at my dream company. And on my first day, along with getting this beauty of a headshot, I was given my BlackBerry and my Sprint Air card and was ready to set the world on fire. Fast forward a couple of years, I thought I was doing great. I had been promoted, managers were already talking to me about my next role. I thought I was on the fast track to success. That is, until this man entered my cube one day. For those of you who don't recognize him, his name is Judd Hoff, and he was the Vice President of Customer Excellence at Stryker Instruments at the time. He stepped into my cube and he asked, Kelly Allen, what is your brand? For a minute, I thought he was joking. Then I realized he was waiting for a response, standing there in my cube. I started listing off all the buzzwords that I could think of. I thought what he was looking for. Hardworking, reliable, intelligent. He seemed happy enough with my answer and he walked away. But that night I took a step back and I reflected on my response. I was working so hard to impress everyone around me that I had forgotten why I had even gotten into marketing in the first place. I was so busy trying to be what I thought everyone else wanted me to be that I had forgotten who I was. My experiences inherent character traits had gotten me to this point in my life, but I was no longer being my authentic self or being intentional about who I was or what I was doing. I was more focused on the things that I wanted to get done than the things that I wanted to be known for. So I asked myself a few important questions that night. First and foremost, why marketing? One of the main reasons why I had pursued a degree in marketing and a career in marketing was because I love understanding people and more so consumer behavior in general. I wanted to understand what motivates people, why they like or dislike certain things, how to appeal to all sorts of different people, how people's experiences made them who they are. And I was no longer carving out any time to do that. I asked myself what was important to me. How do I make the people that I worked with each and every day feel? What are my goals in my career and in life in general? And after asking myself those questions, I asked, what experiences do I need as an individual to accomplish those goals for myself? How I answered those questions allowed me to be much more intentional with my next couple of roles. I love marketing. I went to school for marketing. I had a passion for marketing. So I decided that if I wanted a career built around marketing, I needed to experience all aspects of marketing. I set aim to roles that could help me gain those experiences that I needed, which was working great until this lovely man who happens to be in the crowd today, who was my boyfriend at the time, called me and said, I'm moving to Texas, are you coming or not? It was quite the romantic back then and still is. The business unit that I was at the time had just announced 2 weeks earlier that absolutely no one could work remote anymore. It was important to me to stay with Stryker. It was somewhat important to me to stay with a guy that I had been dating for a few years. But really the only available option that allowed me to do both was a sales role. That wasn't part of my plan. It wasn't something that I had set out for myself. That's when I learned my next big life lesson. It's okay to do something that doesn't fit into your exact life plan, as long as you can still find a way to be authentically you while you do it. If you can find a way to gain the experiences that you need, it can fit into the bigger picture. After a short stint in sales, I had the opportunity to come back to a new division and to get back into marketing, which is what I loved. I was thrilled by the opportunity to start somewhere where I could be very intentional about building my brand. For the first time in my life, I felt like I was truly where I needed to be. But over time, something began to bother me. I was watching the people who I had built my career with and started with at my original business unit progress faster in their careers than me. This brings me to my next big life lesson. Comparison is a thief of joy. Everyone has different experiences. That is why you can have two people in the same role who bring vastly different perspectives and strengths to that role. Your experience should be leveraged, and you should use the past to build your own brand. I spoke earlier of how you should be authentically yourself. You can draw on experiences. You're the only one that has those, so use them to your advantage. Many people entering their career, especially young, competitive, high-achieving people like yourselves and like a lot of what we breed here at Stryker, enter their career thinking success is linear. One role by one role, you will build your empire. However, speed of title progression does not create success. Your career is not a race to be won amongst the people around you. All of the experiences that you have to draw on throughout your life and career are what makes you able to add value to your role. Your story is uniquely yours, and it defines you. Over my time at medical, I've tried to be very intentional about building my brand. As with anyone, my experiences as an individual has had a significant impact on who I am today. I can point to numerous career experiences, personal experiences, managers, employees that have shaped who I am standing in front of you today. But more specifically, I can point to 3 experiences in my life that have built the core of my brand. Although I do not talk about it, and I've never shared this publicly, being bullied in middle school and then sexually assaulted in my early 20s gave me even more of a reason that I needed to prove myself. These experiences left me wanting to show the world that I was in fact worthy. My drive, work ethic, and passion for success are a direct output of those experiences. However, with that came a tough exterior. It's natural for me to have my guard up, and I have to be intentional with how that shows up each and every day at work and in life. Those who only see me at a surface level have described me as being intimidating, something my 12-year-old self would have been shocked to hear. The third experience I had occurred just 6 months ago when I went to urgent care for side pain and ended up in anaphylactic shock with a group of healthcare professionals panicking as my throat closed before them. This really is what put life into perspective for me. As it became more and more difficult to breathe, I could feel myself losing consciousness as the nurses and doctor that was there argued on how to save me. I found myself begging them not to let me die. I told them that I had 2 young kids and a husband at home and that they needed to keep me alive for them. It was in that moment that I truly learned that for me, life isn't about the checklist of things that you accomplish throughout your life, but it's about how you leave the people around you feeling and what you can give back to the world. When others are asked to describe me, they say I'm known for my work ethic, for being loyal and strategic. My team knows they can be themselves around me and that I will protect them at any cost. My team calls me Mama Bear, and this is something that I am probably too proud of, but I pride myself on being a fairly good judge of character and allowing others to be themselves around me. And I had to do this due to early experiences in my life of truly needing to understand all those that I came across. I will coach in private, praise in public, and above all, I care for people deeply. However, there are repercussions to every brand. Just ask any nice guy who's finished last. And for me, that repercussion is coming across as Beth Dutton. For those of you who have yet to get on board with Yellowstone, a popular TV show, Beth can be described as many explicit words, but let's just summarize and say an intimidating hard ass. What can nicely be described as my zest and passion can easily come across as cutthroat and direct. Again, my experiences taught me to put up a thick wall and to protect myself at all costs. I have learned that I need to be cognizant that there is a time and a place for directness, and that I need to bring people along with me on this journey. I am still very much so a work in progress and on a learning journey. I would have never learned that my alter ego is Beth Dutton had someone not had the courage to tell me. Feedback in life and throughout your career is a gift, and we really need to treat it as such. Without feedback, we cannot learn or grow. One of the very best things that you can do for your brand is to find your truth tellers. Find the people who will shoot you straight and tell you what you need to hear rather than what you want to hear. If your brand was heading toward the same fate as Spirit Airlines, you would want to know at the soonest possible moment so that you could self-correct. I have a long ways to go in my career, but I would not have any of the roles that I've had thus far without the tough feedback, hard conversations, and the truth tellers along the way. There are very few things in life that you can control. How you show up and how you carry your brand is in your control. Make it a strategic asset of yours. It is too tiring to be anything but your true self, so be intentional about finding your purpose and pursuing it. There are consequences for any brand that you choose, but if you are aware of it, you have the ability to manage and control it. I've shared a little bit about my story today, but everyone has their own. Try to understand people's stories, what drives them, how to work best with them, what experiences they have to offer. Think about the legacy that you want to leave behind and wake up every day with intentionality of pursuing that. Be hungry, be humble, and above all, be nice. The journey is long. Who do you want to be along the way? Thank you.